Hi, I'm Anthony Rayner from bestbluesguitarlessonsonline.com, and in this video we will look at important building blocks for learning the guitar neck. And it's very important as a blues guitarist that you not only learn to improvise, you don't only learn songs and tricks, but you also learn the building blocks of how the guitar neck really works. Because a lot of people will tell you, hey, blues guitar is easy, you can just, improvise and you just have to do it. But that's not the correct way to learn the guitar. You just have to delve into the structures and the inner workings of how the guitar is really structured. So in this video we will start to build up this knowledge, and it's really important to talk about scales and to talk about chords, to talk about arpeggios, but even more important than all these separate building blocks is how to connect these all together. So if we learn chords, for instance, it's really important that you know how these connect with important information like scales, and how scales and chords are connected is an important building block. And the first step to take in this process is to look at intervals. So an interval is the distance between two notes from a scale or a chord, because scales and chords are built upon intervals. And we have chords, for instance, that are built from 2 intervals. We have chords that are built upon from 3 intervals, and in the scales we have the same building blocks. So when we study intervals, this is the best way to study the guitar neck and to really understand how the neck of the guitar is built. So we will start with these intervals, and looking at these intervals is easy because we just need to learn the theory behind it. But what is even more important than studying these intervals, and we have a whole article on the website bestbluesguitarlessonsonline.com that is structured around these intervals. What is the most important part to know from these intervals? But even more important than the basic understanding of what are the intervals is to visualize them on the neck of the guitar. For instance, if we look at a very important, much used interval, the third, we're talking about the distance between the first note of a major scale and the third note of a major scale. And it's really important to know this. If you know what a major scale is, you know that is the first note, the root note, then the second note. And here we are playing the third note. So this third we can play also over here in this shape. So now I'm playing the C sharp note, which is the third from A, on the A string, 4th fret. And if we're looking at the interval itself, we're starting from this starting point, which is the A note on the low E string. So this is the third, but it's really important, as I mentioned, that you learn how to see this on the guitar neck, how to visualize it here. So for instance, this is the shape that forms the third on the guitar neck here. Okay, and really important is that you understand how these can be transferred all over the guitar neck. So for instance, if we're playing here the A note on the A string, 12th fret, we have the same shape as over here. Okay, if we're picking another A note, for instance the D string, 7th fret, we have the same shape. I don't even have to think about what the notes are here, what the notes are from the intervals, because when I learned intervals, I learned it the wrong way. I learned to calculate the distance between the notes by counting it. Like I was thinking, oh, the third, that is the A, B, oh, it's C sharp, I should play C sharp here. But like I mentioned before, it's really important to visualize them on the guitar neck. And for instance, if we're as a beginner learning chords on the guitar, we're also learning these shapes and we're memorizing these shapes under our fingers. And it's the same thing with intervals. We need to memorize them as shapes, because if I'm playing on the A note, this is my third, but if I'm in another key, for instance B, then it's the same thing, it's the same shape. And I don't even have to know what the third of B is, because music, we're playing it always in real time and it goes really fast. So we need to visualize everything on the guitar neck in like a fraction of a second, because otherwise we're too late, song is over, or your solo has already started and you don't even know where to begin. So I just need to memorize the shape, and we can hold on to the same shapes all the way through the guitar neck. But there's only one important consideration, and that is if we're playing on the B string, everything changes. All the shapes we know change, because the B string is tuned in relation to the other strings in a different way. So if we're looking at the strings of the guitar and the distances between, this is in fact really important to know. We're seeing that between the E and the A string we have 4 notes. All right, we have E, F, G, A. Between the A and the D string we have also 4 notes. We have A, B, C, D. Between the D and the G string, D, E, F, G. And then between those 2 strings we only have 3 notes. We have G, A, B. So these are tuned different, and because we tune the B string different in relationship to the other strings, we also need to have another fingering for the shapes that we play on the B string. So for instance, this interval of the third that we are learning here in this shape, if we want to play it on the B string, so for instance I'm playing here on the G string A note, and I want to know where the third is located on the B string, I can't do it that way, because as you hear it's not the same sound as here. So I need to add one more tone, one more semitone to the whole shape. So this is because the B string is tuned lower in relationship to the other strings, so I need to play 1 fret higher each time I'm playing a shape on the guitar. So it's a great exercise to do this for yourself with another important interval. For instance, the fifth. The interval of the fifth is a really much used interval, especially in rock music. As a power chord, it's used a lot. So this is the interval from the root note to the 5th note of major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 5th. We can play it, of course, as we've seen, everywhere on the guitar neck. And the same shape, for instance, here. You can play it over here with the A note on the D string, A note on the G string is here. But I need to add 1 more fret to the whole thing, because, like we saw, on the B string we're tuned a bit lower, 1 fret, so I need to play 1 fret higher again. And this is a really important consideration. Same thing here on the B string. When I'm playing on the B string, I need to use the same shape as the initial shape. It's only when we're playing the highest note on the B string that the relationship changes. So I need to use this shape. So it's really important to know these intervals, to study them, and to study them in a structured way and visualize them on the guitar neck, because it's not only important to know the theory of how these intervals work, and you will find a lot of information about these intervals on the website bestbluesguitarlessonsonline.com, and the theory ultimate guide article, where you will find all this information with useful diagrams and images. But I also would encourage you to study all these things and relationship to how it works in a guitar solo, how you can build these scales. And it's not only important to know all this stuff, but to use it and to use it in a way where you can play with emotion in your guitar playing. That's why I wrote a free guide that you can find on my bestbluesguitarlessonsonline.com website, where I talk about how to play guitar with feeling, and I would encourage you to download this guide because you will find a lot of useful information in relationship to those intervals, and we can build upon the theory to play more emotional guitar. So it all adds up to the game and to the structure of your guitar playing. Also, I would say if you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video and leave a comment. It really helps, and we can build more on this channel and find more useful videos to talk about here. See you in the next video.